Why, hello YouTube. Welcome to Matt's Life. I've tried doing this video a few times now. I've been packed up, started walking home and thought, no, I've missed too much information. Today I want to get into the dangers of winter riding motorcycles. Who am I to tell you what to do? I'm nobody. I've been riding on and off for 20 years, but in the last 11, I've ridden in every weather you can think of, from sun, rain, ice, snow, typhoons in the Philippines. Now, the first thing I want to get into is, if you're going to ride all year round, think about what's involved. Think about the dangers of it. I don't want to put anyone off riding. I want to encourage people to ride, but know what they're getting into. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is gear. When you're getting into motorcycles, go to a dealer, make sure you get your decent gear. Helmet, gloves, boots, trousers, jacket. Don't skimp out on it. Get the best that you can afford. Look into what you're buying, make sure it's fit for purpose. Because comes winter, there's a lot of dangers. The second thing, when you're thinking about commuting, think about the bike you're gonna get. Not too heavy, not too powerful. Keep on the maintenance. If you're not good at maintenance like me, have friends around who can do it, who you trust to do it. If not, take it to a garage, which is what I was doing. Making sure oil changes, my brakes are good, because once the salt hits and the grit, it gets everywhere, it can damage your bike. So make sure your maintenance is kept on top of. Now, I don't really want to rush into this video. I want to try and get everything in. What's pushed me to do it is I lost a friend in November. I had only known him about a year. I worked with him, he was on night shift with me. And he was riding a Mutt 125 for about a year. And then he started talking to me about doing his test. Started talking to me about his theory. I encouraged him. And he passed it. Second time, I believe. Then he was getting excited. Talking about the bikes he wanted. And I'd advised him not to get something too big, too powerful, too fast. I had so the next step was his mod 1. He failed the first time. I think a lot of it was tiredness, because he'd done a night shift prior. Second time, he did it, getting close to his full license. I was happy for the lad, excited. Another one of us on the road. He loved bikes. He was changing his life around as well. I think in his past he had a bit of trouble, but he was changing himself around, and I like that in people. You know, I don't judge on people's past. I judge people on how they are towards me and people around me. So he passed his mod 1, and it was time to choose a bike. And good for him, he didn't rush into it. He'd had his license a good few months before he decided on a GSX 650F, which for me was a good bike. It was a bike what I wanted when I was doing my training. The only downside to them is they are a bit of a heavy bike. But apart from that, I thought, not too expensive. I think he paid about £1,500 for it. And then he took it to a garage and he had new tyres put on, all the brakes serviced. He had his bearings not all done. And a few days later, not long after he'd had the bike and had it serviced, he was coming to work and it was dark. He got hit by another driver. I don't know the full story, but I don't think the driver saw him, pulled out, and the lad had passed away. Someone told me that night at work that he was on the way in and got hit, and he died on impact, unfortunately. It's not the first friend I've seen in accidents, and I'm sure over the years it's not going to be the last. But I want you to know the dangers behind riding, and is it really worth it? This is the first year in 11 years I've decided to start getting a lift in, and oh, I've got some people coming, 1 minute. So yeah, sorry about that. Someone's coming walking the dogs, and I thought I was going to get a bit of peace and quiet. So yeah, I want people to know the dangers, what are involved. So once you've got your gear, you've got the bike you want, the next thing is about learning the dangers, because riding in the winter is a whole different ball game. All I can say is don't be in a rush. You know, don't ride like you would in the summertime. Even in the summer you have to be careful, but in the winter you have to think a lot harder. You know, keep distance between you and the car ahead of you. If a vehicle is going too slow and you need to overtake, make sure you've got loads of space. Make sure it's safe and you can see well in advance. I've seen too many idiots overtaking on blind corners, or there's a car coming and they think they can make it, so they wind it back. You know, in the winter time, you do that and you hit a bit of ice, or you know, a bit of aquaplane. I've had aquaplane loads of times. You know, you can come off and you can hurt yourself, you can hurt someone else on the road. So overtaking, you know, only do it if you need to. Keep distance from the car ahead. Always think about what you're going to do. Second thing, if there's a car up your ass, do not rush. If they're in a hurry, that's their problem. If they need to overtake, they can do it when it's safe to do so. Don't put it on yourself to speed up if you don't feel safe doing it, okay? We have nothing to prove as bikers. Some people think we do not, okay? It's not big, it's not clever. After that, you know, we've got to think about the rain. Especially when you're commuting to work and it's dark. You're coming home in the dark, you're going to work in the dark like I do. I do night shifts, I do 12-hour shifts. And when it's raining, you cannot see anything. Literally, everything's wet, everything's slippy. You know, some places may be still frozen. You've got grit in the roads. And when it's raining, you can't see much, and you've got the oncoming traffic and they dazzle you because of reflections in the water, you know. So take your time. If you can get a lift to work, please do it. You've really got to think about, is it worth it, okay? Like I said, I've done it 11 years, and I've had a few close calls, and I'd sometimes think, one day will my luck run out? I'm hoping it's not just luck what keeps me alive. I'm hoping it's my skill set. I'm hoping it's my brain. Because I'm one person who I don't feel like I've got anything to prove to anyone. The next thing, gritters. Gritters have a habit of putting all the grit into the middle of the road, right where we're riding. Okay? And that front end can skip out anytime. It happens to me quite a lot. Second thing, tractors. They pull the mud everywhere, especially when it's been raining as well. The mud comes onto the road. That's another thing. When it's been storms, there's branches in the middle of the road. You've got to think about that. Potholes. This is the UK. The roads are a nightmare. We all know it. Our councils don't care. The government don't care. They're on about our bikes being fit for purpose, or our vehicles, but the roads are not fit. They are not fit. So we have to take it on ourselves to think well in advance. Keep an eye out for these dangers. Crosswinds, when you open it, the open roads, you've got fields on either side, you have big risks of crosswinds hitting you, blowing you onto the other end of the road. I've had that before. Like I said with my friend, cars not seeing you. In the winter, cars don't expect us bikers to be out. So we have to take it on ourselves to be seen. Now I don't always, I wear a high vis to work because I have to, but normally I wouldn't. But I would advise you to not do what I do. I'd advise you to go and buy some, you know, reflective gear maybe, if you are riding at night time. Do the best you can to be seen. So think about the weather, think about if you have to work, go to work, think about if you can get a lift to work, think about the weathers, what gear you wear. Keep him warm, because when you get cold, you lose concentration, your reaction time slows down. So think about that too. Heated gloves, I don't have heated gear, but I'd probably would if I could afford it. Kais do some decent stuff I've looked into, but I can't afford that at the moment. Heated grips are a big help. I will get into gear, but not at the moment. I'll leave that for another video. Anyway, all I can say is thanks for watching my channel. Please subscribe, please like, and I would appreciate it a lot, to be fair. I didn't realise how much hard work these YouTube channels are. This is my third time making the video. Anyway, ride safe, be good, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. So please subscribe, give me a like, and take care all. Thanks for watching. This is Matt's Life.